Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to answer some of the questions that I had on my YouTube channel down in the comments from the past month. There's some great community comments on the channel, so I encourage you to make sure you do check out a lot of the comments in my video if you're watching this channel. On that note, if you aren't subscribed, just look down below, make sure you're subscribed. We've got a great community building here, helping everybody out. I'm a beginner investor. There's a lot of beginner investors following the channel, so hopefully you can learn a few things from this channel, but also from the community comments. Let's just jump right into this. I like to do these all in one take. So here we go. First one was from Rod. Rod's been with the channel for quite a while now, and he was asking a good price with Manulife. This was a question that I had asked in my community tab about what stocks everybody's kind of picking up, because as you know, the market not doing so great right now. So he got a good price on Manulife, picked up a little today. He remembered I mentioned I moved another account into Wealthsimple. Did I request this on the Wealthsimple end? I noticed there's a section for that. Yes. So basically what happens is, if you want to transfer an investment from another investment company or bank, you can transfer that into Wealthsimple. Now, I didn't transfer my stock account. I started that off from scratch with Wealthsimple on the trade app, but I did transfer into Wealthsimple. I had an RSP at another financial institution, and I transferred that over to the Wealthsimple Invest product. Now that's the robo-advisor part that I have my RSP with. It was a pretty seamless transition though. It's a matter of setting up your account, and then you select you want to just transfer in. It takes about, I want to say it takes about a week or so before it finally showed up, but once it was there, it invests it automatically into how your account is set up for your investment style. So it pretty seamless. And I also know they have a if you transfer it over, they take a part of your fee off. I think it's $10,000. That could have changed. You'll want to check that on the app, but you can have a percentage or all of it, depending on what your balance is, managed for free for a year. So that was kind of handy on that. The reason I transferred it over into Wealthsimple was basically to save on fees. I was paying a fortune in fees on my RRSP, so I transferred it into Wealthsimple, and my fees are more than cut in half. So definitely a win there. Good question though. Stock Addict 27 had some great comments from him or her, I'm not really sure, down in a lot of these videos. And one of the one was he just picked up some more BTC.Y. That's a Bitcoin yield ETF and FFN. I'm not sure what that one is for the monthly dividend. I think it's, I don't know, if you let me know in the comments below. FFN, I should look that one up. And one more, Telus. Telus is obviously the channel favorite for my RSP account. Any thoughts on a recovery stock being added to my portfolio? He or she has Air Canada as mine in this summer, and he's thinking the earnings are doing great. So a recovery stock. Now, the way it's going right now, even since this comment was left, it seems like almost every stock can be a recovery stock in the market. I don't have any kind of like, the pandemic recovery of Air Canada was one, Cineplex was another one. I did have some Cineplex in my portfolio earlier in the year. I did sell it off, made a little bit of profit on that one, so happy about that, but nothing in this portfolio in terms of a recovery play on that. I've kind of got my portfolio. It took me about a year to kind of get it to where I like it with the investments that I have, that I will be adding that. I'm not looking really at this point to add any additional positions, but great question. Some people might still have Air Canada on their portfolio, so we'll see how it does. Fandom Finance, what was that Bitcoin yield ETF that you mentioned a couple of videos ago? This one's been a popular one. So it's the Bitcoin yield ETF, BTC.Y. It gives monthly dividends on your ETF purchases. So it's been okay. I've just started to add positions onto that one. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be continuing with that. Obviously, if you see in the market, it's super volatile. So it's not necessarily the investment for everybody, but it fits with my investment style. So research it. If it works for you, maybe check that one out. I've been happy with it so far though. Another one from Stock Addict 27. I noticed you didn't mention VFV as part of your core. In my portfolio, I did mention how I was kind of investing going forward in this market. I didn't notice how you mentioned VFV as part of your core. Are you going to be selling them off? My position in them? No, I'm going to be keeping the two ETFs that I have as VDY and VFV. I'm going to be continuing to add to those positions with a focus on the VDY, which is the dividend, gives the monthly dividends to try and build this up in this market, to try and build some dividends up on the portfolio. That being said, VFV, if you're watching it, it is down. Obviously, S&P 500, it's the index ETF. If the S&P is down, it's going to be down. There's maybe some opportunity, I think, to go in, and I'll be adding to that position as well, because you know, it's time. It's time in the market. I'm not timing the market, so long-term investment. I'm not going to be really making any changes. Keep investing, keep adding slowly to those positions. But that's a great question. But nothing in the portfolio I am thinking of selling at this point. And a question from Abigail, this is on my dividend video. I do my dividend video updates every month, show how the dividends are coming through on the channel. And she said, how do these dividends compare with last month or on average? So last month was up a little bit because obviously I've been adding to the positions, which is great. I think it was actually the most I've ever received. It was about $30 that came in last month, which was pretty awesome. So it's getting up there, starting to kind of, that snowball is starting to build. But there was some of the stocks and some of the ETFs, they do pay quarterly dividends, which were received last time. So that's obviously going to bump up the monthly for that month. But going forward, some of the ones that do pay monthly is the BTC.Y pays monthly, the Slate office REIT pays monthly as well. So it's just slowly building. It's nice to see it finally taking some shape and actually seeing some, you know, returns. Obviously the portfolio is down. I think it's down across the board, but not too worried. But it's nice to see those dividends still continue to roll in and to be able to reinvest and start to build the portfolio up. That's definitely a nice thing. I'm going to pronounce this name completely wrong, Bagraji. He was asking, he's been following my channel for quite a while, so thanks for following. It's quite informative, and I'd like to thank you for that. Much appreciated. So thanks for following. Thanks to everybody that's following along. It's awesome. It's nice to see this portfolio growing. Nice to see the channel growing as well. I really appreciate it. It's kind of fun to do these videos, and I am learning a lot along the way. Hopefully you guys all are too. So. Is it possible you can throw some light on the XEG BlackRock shares? This one, XEG, that's the energy share, if I'm not mistaken. They would have been quite profitable for a while. Would love to know what you think about it. I've had a few questions on oil. Oil obviously is going crazy. If you are invested in XEG or some of the oil stocks, you would be doing quite well right now. I don't have any, sorry, I shouldn't say I don't have any oil exposure in my TFSA portfolio. I'm leaning more towards renewable energy in the stocks that I do have. That being said, VDY does have about, I looked this up, about 27% is in energy companies and Canadian energy companies. So I'm kind of covered in that regard, so I've been happy with that. And VDY has actually been doing okay in the market. Obviously, probably propped up by, it's heavy on the banks, it's heavy on the energy, 27% with that. So I do have some exposure to that. So I haven't looked at you know, adding an ETF XCG in anything that. Do your research on it. I mean, if people, I've seen some other channels and watched YouTube, some people have done really well with the energy sector, but again, everything is just really volatile out there. So do your research. Don't jump into anything because it's gone skyrocketing. I've learned that the hard way. Just, you know, stick with your plan. Don't go chasing any stocks. That's my kind of investment style going forward. But check that one out. And last question, this one's from Zach Chapman. Zach's been on the channel for quite a while. Thanks, Zach, for subscribing and following along. I really appreciate it. But and then this was the last question he asked, was on the Wealthsimple venture fund. Now, I've done a couple of videos on the venture fund, and he had asked, looks really interesting, but definitely some serious money willing to invest. The minimum is $5,000. And what am I leaning towards? So I am still on the fence about this. I have some, I've been looking at my investments in different places. It's something that really interests me, but it again is a long-term investment. It's 10 years. The amount is quite large. So what I'm kind of looking at is if there's things, and of course, if the market is down, it doesn't make sense to necessarily move something that's down that I think is going to go up in 10 years, that to sell it off, to put into something else, to chase something else. So it's difficult to make that decision. So I want to go into it. I still haven't, you know, in theory, pulled the trigger to decide if I want to do that, because it's a big kind of capital investment. It would impact how much I invest in my TFSA and in my RSP. So I have to kind of just consider if I want to lock a certain amount up for that amount of time and scale back in any kind of investments. Obviously, in my TFSA as well, it's going to impact that. So I haven't decided yet, the long story short, but leaning towards doing it. So if there's some interest in that, let me know. If there's interest, if I do decide to do that. I don't know if there's many YouTubers talking about the venture fund or doing any sharing on that. So if there's some interest, let me know down in the comments, and I can definitely kind of, if I go forward with it, I will start to post some videos if there's interest on that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for all the questions. Really appreciate it. One last time, if you're not subscribed, great to have you join along. Subscribing, like I say, is always free. Hopefully the market is doing well for you. I don't know, there's maybe some opportunity there for some long-term investing, I hope. We're gonna carry on, do my slow deposits into the portfolio, and just take it as it goes. Slow and steady, I think, will win the race at this point. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day.